why did you choose to come to Norwalk, and why do it now?
Well, I decided to come to Norwalk because I wanted to be part of a smaller community of learners and have an opportunity to work in a smaller city. I heard great things about Norwalk and its diversity and how invested the community has been to education. And that really ignited an interest in me wanting to be part of such a great community.
It's a big change, though. I mean, you spent your entire life in New York City, haven't you?
I have.
Yeah.
Well, I live in Westchester, so I'm for the past several years. So I'm used to a smaller community for the past approximately almost 8 years now. And I really
moved to Norwalk.
Huh?
Moving to Norwalk?
Not yet. Not right now.
But the children are going to be.
I'm having a hard time to hear. I'm having a hard time hearing you.
Yeah. I just because she said your children are going to live in Norwalk, I had the impression you were going to move here.
Oh, the children, the twin boys will be going to high school in Norwalk.
All right. So, what do you see as your biggest challenge in your new role?
I think the biggest challenge is going to be making sure that I allocate the time necessary to get to know the community. I want to make sure that I have an opportunity to speak to the parents, speak to community members, speak to elected officials so that I get a good sense of what Norwalk values, and most importantly, what are the things that are working well and what are the things that the community wants to see continue to improve and strengthen as I continue my work there.
So on July 1st, that'll be your first day. What will that look like?
So on my first day, I'm hoping that Dr. Domowski and I can have a deep conversation around where the work has, what work he has done thus far, what work needs to continue to be done, have an opportunity to meet with all the chiefs as well as the different union leaders in the district, and have conversations with the board members. We're hoping that by then I can have conversations in person, but if not, at least remotely, get to further engage with different constituents within the community during that first day, so that I can start getting a deeper sense of what work has been done and getting to know the people that have been doing the work.
Has the pandemic changed your thoughts on education? Will it change your thinking about running a school district? And what have you learned from this crazy time we're in?
So I think the pandemic, although difficult and challenging because my community has experienced a lot of loss, it has given us the opportunity to think outside of the box and to look at new ways of thinking about the work and how to embrace students in learning. So this will allow, and also even with parental engagement, looking at different ways to provide parents with access to the information and meetings that are happening throughout the district. In my current district, our participation in what's the equivalent to the board meetings for us, we didn't have that much participation yet. Through this digital learning and distance learning approach, we've had an enormous amount of participation because people had easier accessibility to connecting to the meeting via Zoom or different platforms. So I see this as an opportunity to rethink how we've been doing some aspects of student learning, and looking forward to utilizing this as a tool to enhance what we've been doing for the past several years.
That's really interesting. So what are you most proud of in your career?
I think there's a few things, right? As the eldest, being able to acquire a college degree and eventually a doctorate degree is something I'm very proud of, being the first to graduate in my family. And being able to accomplish that is something that I really value and cherish. In terms of the work that I've done as a superintendent, the work around serving students with special needs, as well as enhancing the work around English language learners, and looking at the work as a whole to ensure that every single child is well served is something that I'm really proud of. But most importantly, building community and bringing my school leaders, teachers, and community at large together to enhance the learning experience of children is something that I'm very proud of.
How are the New York City schools set up? Do you have a Board of Education that oversees your work? So are you like, just tell me how they're set up.
So the New York City's department is set up where you have a community education council, which is equivalent to the board in many perspectives, and they support in certain aspects of policy. But the chancellor is ultimately the one who appoints the superintendents. So we also directly report to him.
So is this community board that's elected?
The Community Education Council is elected by the parent associations of the different schools within the district.
That's interesting. Okay. And how is the chancellor selected?
The chancellor is selected by the mayor.
We answer the chancellor, who answers to the mayor, and you get input from this community board.
Correct.
Okay. Well, back to the getting to know you questions. What are you reading right now?
What am I reading right now? So
yes.
I was reading. I've read a few books. The last book I'm reading an article from the Harvard Press around purpose and looking at how to establish clear purpose within an organization. So that's the latest thing that I've read. In terms of nonfiction, one of the current book that I'm reading is Children of the Land, which is a pretty interesting book on an immigrant family and their journey coming through the border as an illegal immigrant and that experience. So it was an interesting read.
That sounds. You must have heard stories from your parents about being an immigrant. I mean,
absolutely.
How did they come here?
So my aunt came here first, and then once she became a documented immigrant, she then had the opportunity to bring her siblings. So my father then was able to come. And then my father was able to then acquire documentation so that my mother could come. And that's how my parents wound up coming here.
So what do you see is the biggest hurdle Norwalk Public Schools is facing?
I think it's hard to decipher that right now. I think once I get an opportunity to really listen and learn more about what's going on in the community and really have an opportunity to have a deeper conversation with members of the board, as well as those in the different chiefs' position and the principals and teachers and staff, I will have a deeper sense of what could be, how I can define what the hurdle currently is for the district.
Well, we're in the middle of this contentious budgeting process, and then we got hit with a pandemic. So, do you see your role as being actively involved in this budget, or will you work with what develops? And what's your opinion about that?
So I think right now, because Dr. Adamasi is the superintendent, he will move forward with making the decision in terms of how the budget proceeds. And July 1st, then him and I will have a conversation of where we stand based on the decisions that are made, and I will take that and move forward to supporting the district with the current reality of where we land as a result of those conversations.
Okay, well, it seems like most parents are very pleased you're coming. But there are a few who have concerns. So there's news stories out there that highlight some negative issues. And there was a talent show that you emceed, and the PTA president, they described it as an erotic drag performance in front of the kids. And then there's also the $3,000 fine in 2011 when you were the principal and you sold real estate to a teacher that was working for you. And there's also some grumbling, some people who think you have bullied teachers. So what do you have to say about all of those issues?
So I think like in any large system like New York City, where you have over 1.1 million children and you're serving in that capacity, you are bound to not please everyone. And you're going to find people that are not going to say positive things for whatever reason. I think with the gentleman, he just didn't think about what he was doing. And we had a conversation, and I think he learned from that experience of what is appropriate in a certain venue and what is not. And even in terms of the situation with the fine, I didn't know that was an issue. And when I did, one thing that I did do with my principals moving forward was provide them with training so that they wouldn't make the same mistake. So I take the experiences and learn from them and allow other people to learn from what might have gone wrong so that we can continue to do better as a whole. And that's what I've done to support my principals and their leadership in their work.
What are you going to miss about your current job?
I think the biggest thing is the people, right? Because you build such close relationships with them, and especially the children. A lot of them I know by name, and we interface on a continuous basis. My office is in a school building, so I am constantly around children. So I'm going to make it a point in Norwalk to make sure that I'm constantly around children because my office is not in a school building. So as many opportunities that I find to be in a school, I'm going to take advantage of that. And still stay connected with those people that have done amazing work for me throughout the years to serve the children that I have been supporting currently in District 4. But the people.
I can understand that. Well, thank you very much for making the time. Is there anything else you wanted to say?
I just wanted to thank you, and I'm looking forward for us to collaborate in the work ahead. And I'm really excited to come to Norwalk and to continue to support the great work that has already started.